This is the second phase of lawfare. Now that their efforts to indict President Trump and stop the voters from re-electing him have failed, they're going and seeking out individual radical judges to try to shut down policies, and they are forum shopping like crazy. Give me any loon judge put on the bench by Obama or Biden who disagrees with a policy. We just saw a judge flagrantly ignore U.S. immigration law concerning TPS being revoked. U.S. law explicitly said there's no judicial review for that, but hey, they found a judge who says, you know what? We, the Democrat Party, we are the party of illegal aliens. We are the party of murderers and rapists and gang members, and the Democrat Party exists here to fight to keep murderers and rapists and gang members in your community.
Senator Ted Cruz went all out, calling out Adam Schiff, blasting Democrat legal strategies, and warning us all about a dangerous trend in our courts. If you missed it, don't worry. I've got the top takeaways from this political showdown, and trust me, you're going to want to see this all the way through. Let's get into it. Cruz kicked things off by...
Under our Constitution, who should decide elections, the voters or unelected judges?
The voters are the ones who should vote in the election according to the laws, and the laws sometimes have to be applied by the judges if there are cases.
And under our Constitution, who is charged with making policy decisions? Elected representatives elected by the people or unelected federal judges?
I think the question of policy, Senator, is a little broader than the particular case. So the laws should be enacted by Congress. That's where the fountain of law.
Policy decisions are the elected branches.
Right.
Law is the province of the court. Policy is the province of the elected branches. These are not complicated. Professor Bray, let me ask you this. Do the federal courts have power to issue remedies for people who are not parties to a case?
That's a question I agree is not complicated. They do not have that power.
Is the phrase nationwide injunction or universal injunction found anywhere in the Constitution?
It is not.
First chart. In the first 150 years of our republic, how many nationwide injunctions were issued?
My view is that there were not any until 1963.
0. Now fast forward. How many nationwide injunctions were issued in the entire 20th century?
It's a small number. I would think it would be a dozen, give or take. It's not large.
27, actually. Excluding Trump's first term, how many nationwide injunctions were issued in the last 20 years?
Far more than that.
32. From 2001 to 2024 against Biden, Obama, and Bush, 32. And how many nationwide injunctions have been issued in the last 2 months?
There have been quite a few.
37. Let that sink in. There have been more nationwide injunctions in the past 2 months against President Trump than in the entire 20th century. There have been more nationwide injunctions against President Trump in the last 2 months than both terms of George W. Bush, both terms of Barack Obama, and Joe Biden's term. We saw during the Biden presidency lawfare, indicting President Trump 4 times, using the machinery of justice to attack him, and that was an attack on democracy, because Democrats today hate democracy. Democrats today are angry at the voters for re-electing Donald Trump and electing a Republican Senate and a Republican House, and they engaged in lawfare to stop democracy from operating. Understand, this is the second phase of lawfare. Second chart. This is the second phase of lawfare. Now that their efforts to indict President Trump and stop the voters from re-electing him have failed, they're going and seeking out individual radical judges to try to shut down policies, and they are forum shopping like crazy. Give me any loon judge put on the bench by Obama or Biden who disagrees with a policy. We just saw a judge flagrantly ignore U.S. immigration law concerning TPS being revoked. U.S. law explicitly said there's no judicial review for that, but hey, they found a judge who says, you know what? We, the Democrat Party, we are the party of illegal aliens. We are the party of murderers and rapists and gang members. And the Democrat Party exists here to fight to keep murderers and rapists and gang members in your communities. There's a reason the Democrat Party is at 26% approval nationwide, because they put radical policies ahead of rule of law.
When the Justice Department dismissed a corruption case against the mayor of New York City, not because of a lack of evidence, not because of any misconduct by the prosecutors in the case, but because of the most serious misconduct of the Attorney General and the top leadership of the Justice Department. Because the Justice Department wanted to leverage that case against the mayor by dismissing the case without prejudice so that they could use him as a political pawn to help effectuate their immigration policy. That just happened today. It is one of any number of serious abuses of the rule of law by this Justice Department. And instead of having a single hearing on what
Cruz then dropped a bombshell, claiming the Justice Department dismissed a corruption case against New York City's mayor, not because of innocence, but because they wanted political leverage. He said the DOJ was weaponized, not for justice, but to manipulate immigration policy. According to Cruz, this is more than a partisan issue. It's a threat to the foundations of law itself.
Hearing on what the department is doing, or a single hearing on all the other plainly unlawful acts of this administration. No, instead of having a hearing on any of those things, Republicans are having a hearing on the one tool that can be used to try to mitigate the harm of these illegal actions. Now, I completely concur that whether nationwide injunctions are a good thing or a bad thing has depended entirely on who they're being used against. I count no less than 26 of my Republican colleagues who were vigorously supportive of a nationwide injunction against the use of mifepristone. No problem supporting a nationwide injunction in that case. And of course, on the Democratic side of the aisle, we are applauding injunctions against the unlawful actions of this administration.
One of the most revealing parts of the hearing came when Cruz called out both parties. Yes, Republicans too. He acknowledged that when it suits them, even his own colleagues have supported nationwide injunctions. But that's the problem. It's not about fairness anymore. It's about control. And as Cruz wrapped up, he made his position clear. If unelected judges can override voters, elections don't mean a thing.
Where I think I come down at this moment in time gets to your point, Professor Vladeck, and that is the use of nationwide injunctions against an administration that has proven so breathtaking in its lawlessness and who has engaged in such a surge of illegal actions. The effort to do away with this singularly vital tool, I think you called it, at this time would be disastrous for the country.
Ted Cruz didn't just call out Democrats, he called out a broken system. He warned that if we don't rein in this judicial activism, the rule of law will erode, and with it, our republic. Whether you agree with him or not, one thing's clear. This hearing was a wake-up call. If you're concerned about the direction of this country, if you believe voters, not judges, should decide policy, then hit like, comment, and subscribe for more breakdowns like this.